What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another video, and this one is all about Pedro and Chantel. But before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, every single person that is a member of Patreon, and every single person that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. And I believe for this video, we can definitely reach 400 likes and more. So let's get those likes going, ladies and gentlemen. But with that being said though, right now there is a scene that is now resurfaced online in terms of people are talking about it. Because people believe that this is a scene that was the pinnacle moment where Pedro finally decided to give up on his relationship with Chantel, despite the fact that their relationship had a lot of cracks in it anyway, and despite the fact that everybody or a lot of us already felt and knew that Chantel and Pedro were never compatible and their relationship was always going to end at some point. But hey, sometimes in life, even when you continue, there's always going to be another point where it just pushes you over the edge. And this seems to be one of those points where a lot of people, myself included, feel like maybe this was the moment that said, you know what? It's time to give it a break and just go separate ways. But nonetheless though, let's get into that clip itself in particular, and also let's break it down.
And the truth is, I just don't know how to support you right now. I want to, but I don't know the right things to say in every situation all the time, and I've been it up. I have.
So first things first, Chantel's already identified in this scene here that she doesn't know how to support Pedro. But to be honest with you, I feel like there's a fine line with not knowing how to support someone and someone not allowing you to support them because they don't like the way you do it, because the way you do it is actually making you confront your demons. It's actually making you confront what you need to move on from. And if you ask me, based on what happens on this scene, I don't think that Chantel was wrong in terms of her approach necessarily. I think it was more Pedro wasn't ready for that approach because he's someone that would rather run away from his demons rather than go towards them and do what he can to conquer them. But let's continue.
I say things to you, and you most of the time use it against me.
Well, I didn't want for you to forget the bad things that people have done to you so that they could do it to you another time. But I know now that it's not even my place, that's family. That's your relationship with your family.
The thing is though, you are his family though. The moment that you marry someone, the moment you get in a relationship with someone, they are your family. And to be honest with you, if you're not allowing someone to step into your life and know everything about you, to your recollection about who you are, then why would you want to marry that person? So at the end of the day, in this situation itself in particular, I'm not really a fan, but I'm also understanding why Chantel's trying to backtrack a little bit by saying, well, maybe I overstepped, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, because clearly the issues that you have are family matter. But the matter of the fact is though, if you're going to marry someone, you've got to allow that person to voice their opinion based on anything that's going on in your life so they can help you go forward. Even if it means that they have to call you out for how your family is behaving, is treating you. And if you don't like it, well, to be honest with you, why are you now introducing something into your life that you're not willing to allow to actually support you in the way maybe your family hasn't supported you, and actually open your eyes in ways where they just need to be opened? And at the end of the day, this is why I say, for me personally, I don't think it's that Chantel did the wrong. I don't think Chantel made the wrong approach. I think it's more of a case where Pedro just didn't want that approach, because in reality, I guess he's in a relationship with someone that has a family that seems to be stable. Meanwhile, he's in a family that maybe isn't so stable. But the fact is this though, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I've been in that situation. I know my family isn't stable, and I've been in a relationship with someone who's got a fairly decent stable family. But to be honest with you, that didn't make me feel a certain type of way. I was happy. I was like, at least I'm around someone that has a family that is stable to a certain degree, rather than meet someone that's also got a dysfunctional family too, because that's not really a good situation to be in, to be honest with you, back to back. So for me personally, I think this is a matter where Pedro is refusing to man up, he's refusing to mature, and he's refusing to fight against the traumatic experiences that he's been through. And the fact is this though, the fact that he's with someone that is more than happy to try and push him and try and help him, that's something that he should appreciate, because really and truly, Chantel doesn't have to be this person who's trying to help him or guide him in terms of him moving on from his, from his family issues. She could just sit there and be quiet, say nothing, and allow him to beat himself up every single time his family annoy him or trigger him. But no, she would rather step up and say, you know what, let me try and support you some way, somehow. But again though, regardless whether her support mechanism is right or wrong, or suppose I was right or wrong, he has to be supportive back. He has to be open to her and say, listen, do you know what? This is how I prefer you support me. And then they can have a conversation about it, rather than sit there and talk about how, well, each time I tell you something about my family, you use it, you always bring it up. Well, she just said she's bringing it up because she wants you to grow from it. She wants you to become stronger from it because she sees the strength within you. which is a sad thing because a lot of women, maybe even men too, do date men. Women do date men based on their potential strength, their potential XYZ. Women, stop dating men because you see a potential in them, because that means you're looking to change them. Date a man who's already exactly where he needs to be. And that's the same thing for men too. But nonetheless, let's continue.
Also, Pedro, do you realize when you tell Chantel about hurtful things that have happened to you, she loves you so much that she hurts for you. She was trying to protect you. That's normal.
I've been into this January, tried to find true. And I was comfortable because my wife told me, I'm ready, I'm here to support you.
See, here's the thing when it gets a bit tricky though. I say this now. A man does not want his woman to be more upset with him when it comes to him going through something. That is something that I went through myself. At the end of the day, if I come to you and I open up about something to you, of course I want you to support me, but I don't want you to feel my pain. A lot of men don't actually want their woman to feel their pain. They don't want no one else to feel their pain because we're so used to being in pain by ourselves and handling it by ourselves. Sometimes we just need a cuddle. Sometimes we just need a little bit of a support. And to be honest with you, as much as it may sound great for you to be with someone that feels your pain and gets frustrated for you, but trust me, I tell you, no man wants a woman to get frustrated for them. All they want is exactly what women want, and that is someone to listen and just to comfort them. And if necessary, give them that support in the right way possible, which of course is where Chantel potentially went wrong in terms of maybe she was trying to support him too much. She was trying to support him based on her own emotion rather than trying to support him based on his emotion. There's a fine line when you support someone based on your own emotion compared to you supporting them on their emotion. But at the end of the day though, that means you got to take time to understand how someone is emotional and how they process those things and how to obviously support them in those given times. And I find that that's something that a lot of women don't do. Find out how to actually support their man. I think a lot of women think they do it, but they really don't know do it. That's why, of course, when you look in the world right now and we're talking about, I hate to bring it up, but we're looking at the mental health of men being so freaking high. And we're even looking at the mental health of men in terms of taking their own life being so freaking high. It's not because of women, don't get it twisted, but what I'm trying to say is that just understand this, when it comes to a man and his feelings, if he's going through it, all he wants is a woman or maybe even a man to just be there. To just be there. Simple cuddle, simple hey, simple I love you, simple dinner, simple things. Definitely don't want you to necessarily step in too much and then make it about you. Because a lot of times women don't understand. I don't think women see this, is that sometimes they take a man's emotion and then they make that man's emotion become their emotion. And in the end, rather than the woman comfort the man, it then ends up being the man comforting the woman. Something that isn't spoken about, something that isn't even recognized. But hey, let's learn from those things. But hey, let's continue.
Truth for me about that letter, Pedro, was your mother let your father walk through the doors of her home.
Yeah.
She let him come into your house and sent you to your room. Do you think that a man who is the father of my children could walk into my home and I want them to see my kids?
Now, the biggest issue with this part of the scene is simple. Chantel ended up confronting him in front of her own family. This is a conversation that they should have had between just the two of them. And it definitely should have been a conversation that she should have had with him with her mother there and her sister being there. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's way too personal to let everyone know. Because I understand this. When a man marries a woman, that woman becomes his family. But her family doesn't become his family. They become a part of the family, but they don't become his family. There's a fine line, there's a big difference. Something that isn't spoken about. To be fair, something that a lot of men don't even know themselves. It happens, but they don't even know that that's how it is. So the fact is this though, when you're now having a conversation about his mother, her behavior, his father, his behavior, well, at this moment in time, that's a conversation he only wants to have with someone that he loves and trusts, not with other people that he doesn't love and doesn't necessarily trust. Because at the end of the day, the love he's going to have for his woman isn't going to be the same kind of love he's going to have for his woman's parents, family, XYZ. The love that a man has for his own birth family is going to be near enough equivalent to the same love he's going to have for his own woman, just in a different way. But the love of a man has for his own family will never be the same love he can ever give to his woman's family. It doesn't work like that. But I think sometimes people forget that. And to be fair, that could be the same thing on a woman's side. Who knows? I'm not a woman for that one. But I know women love that emotion, so they probably do love their own family as much as they love their partner's family, as long as they get along, to be honest with you. But let's get into it.
He don't want to see me. I will mistake.
He would not be allowed in my home. He would not be allowed in my home.
I was a mistake.
No, you weren't.
You were not a mistake.
Look, let me tell you something.
Nobody's a mistake.
Let me tell you something.
Pedro.
I was
No.
a mistake.
No,
That's
you
what I did.
weren't.
And
No.
you don't understand that.
This is the moment in the conversation where the best thing to do is just to bring it down. Sadly, this is the moment where Chantel was supposed to do what her mother does first. Saddest part, the wrong person was cuddling him. I mean, if there was going to be a mother cuddling him in that moment, it could have only been his own mother. But the fact is though, Chantel was the one that was supposed to give him that cuddle. Now that isn't necessarily Chantel's fault. That's more of her mother's fault for stepping in. If anything, her mother should allow Chantel to go cuddle. Or if Chantel wasn't going to do it, her mother should have said, go cuddle your man. Give her the signal. Because that was it. But you see, at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, if he's now being confident by Chantel's mother, another woman that he's married to, trust me when I tell you, that makes a big difference. And that's when a mind can definitely do its own little thing. Especially when you're dealing with a fragile, I'm going to go weak. Fragile-minded and a weak person like Pedro. And I only say that because Pedro is someone that clearly feels as if the world may be against him. He's someone that probably finds it uncomfortable being around Chantel's family because they're a family. He's probably someone that probably feels as if he's never going to be enough for his family unless he gets them to the United States, because we know that his mother has definitely made that pressure put that pressure on him. So to be honest with you, there is a massive part where he's living a life where where he feels like he has to deliver for his mother, for his sister, for his family, because the dad didn't. It's like he's taking his burden onto himself. But the problem is though, is that you see, Pedro is using his own life experiences to harm others, and that's not cool. And this is where I talk about the mental abuse that we've seen him give Chantel, to be fair, throughout season 4. Give or take with some of the tendencies, and also with the allegations at hand. And the fact is, people that generally, I'm not a psychiatrist or whatever, but a psychologist or whatever what it is, but from my knowledge of people that I've known, people that generally find it hard or refuse to conquer trauma, and they allow it to to consume them instead, those are the people that generally put all of that onto other people and hurt other people with it. And Pedro is one of those people that gives me a strong vibe that because he puts himself in this box of just being a mistake, and a box of negativity, and a box of having to provide for mommy and sister and all that kind of stuff, he definitely gives me the vibes of someone that is going to project that onto other people. And if anything, we may be wrong. Maybe he did love Chantel. But the problem is though, maybe he struggles to love. Maybe he doesn't want to love. Maybe he doesn't really want to have that connection because he doesn't want to be disappointed like he was growing up. You never really know, because everyone is so different in how they function and how they process things. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Pedro, just because he's been through what he's been through, it is not a reason for him to treat Chantel or anyone else the way he has treated them. And I can say that myself firsthand, because just like maybe some of you is here right now, maybe you've been through things the way I've been through things, the way Pedro's been through things, but we've been able to get up and continue moving forward and making sure that we don't harm other people on our way, or at least we try and protect them from going through what we went through, rather than trying to project our own madness onto them because we are too stubborn, shall I say, to attack the problem, to challenge the problem. Nonetheless though, let me know what you're thinking and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, 400 or more, you know what I mean? Subscribe. Peace.